Hi there. In this video, as you can see from our driving question, we'll be exploring how Otto von Bismarck contributed to the unification of Germany. To start off our story, King Wilhelm I of Prussia named Otto von Bismarck his prime minister in 1862. Bismarck had a dream.
My dream is to unite Germany under Prussia.
Bismarck thought that the first step to unify Germany was to improve the military, so he went over to Parliament and asked them to raise taxes for this cause.
Hey Parliament, we need to collect more taxes so we can get a better military.
No.
See, Bismarck believed in blood and iron, and also Realpolitik, or in other words, in order to get things done, actions are necessary, not words.
So yeah, you can't have this because,
Bismarck demonstrated this belief in blood and iron by collecting the taxes even though Parliament had said no.
Thus, Bismarck made Prussia a great war machine.
Hello, I'm your host today. This is
Rebecca.
And I'm David. I'm going to talk about the good things Bismarck did.
And I'm going to talk about the bad things he did.
Bismarck wasn't being very democratic at this moment, but he demonstrated his belief in realpolitik. Sometimes national interest is more important than being politically correct.
Although Bismarck's determination to get things done might have helped unify Germany, it also led to its fall. Bismarck's refusal to share power led to the incompetence of his successors. People were used to him making all of the decisions and didn't know how to function after he stopped.
That's just a cycle of history though. Good leaders die and bad ones take their place. Plus, you have to admit democracy didn't get things done very quickly, even in today's world.
Hi, I'm Denmark, and these are my territories.
This is Schleswig, and this is Holstein. Disputes over the border states, Schleswig and Holstein, started a war between Denmark and Prussia.
Bismarck believed those territories belonged to the German Confederation, but Denmark obviously wanted to keep its territories, and in 1864, Austria teamed up with Prussia against Denmark.
So I'm Austria, and I'd kind of like to have one of those territories, so I'm going to go break up the fight and end this war.
So after a short fight, Denmark surrendered. After the war, Prussia got Schleswig, and Austria got Holstein.
So it was nice working with you.
I'm totally not going to start a war to get Holstein from you.
Okay, good to know.
Austria's territory is in the way of Germany's unification.
Bismarck wanted to make it look like Austria had started the war, so he sent Prussian troops to Austria in order to provoke them.
I'm going to start a war with Austria to get Holstein.
Wait, what's that?
No!
The Austro-Prussian War did 4 things. It dissolved the German Confederation, kicked Austria out of Germany's future, gave Prussia Holstein, and created the Northern German Confederation.
With the German Confederation gone, I can finally expand Germany!
You know, it was kind of rude of Bismarck to stab Austria in the back like that.
Vienna had to though. Bismarck had to be sure Prussia was the leader in the unification of Germany, and not Austria.
Still, he made it look like Austria started the war, when it was really him who started it.
It was for a good reason though. By making Austria look like the enemy, Bismarck created nationalist feelings in the country, which brought German Confederation together.
So, we the southern states don't really want to be a part of Germany.
Come on, the southern states, except you, Austria. You should join us to make the Northern Confederation stronger and more powerful. I have to find a way to make them go together.
Hi, I'm Spain. Hi, I'm Wilhelm I of Prussia.
See, Wilhelm I, King of Prussia, had been working with Spain to get Leopold, who was related to the Prussian royal house, to rule Spain. This alliance between the two countries alarmed France greatly.
I'm France, and I don't approve of this alliance.
Because of this, Wilhelm of Prussia met with an ambassador from France to discuss this issue at a place called Ems. In the end, they didn't agree on a solution, but Wilhelm sent a telegraph to Bismarck describing what had happened.
This is a message from King Wilhelm of Prussia. It is an account of what happened between him and France.
As Bismarck read the report, it went something like this. We, France, want you to forbid your relatives from being Spanish kings. And Wilhelm said, I'm terribly sorry, but I can't do that. And the French replied, I don't like that, but okay.
I have an idea. I can make it look like France started the war.
So Bismarck rewrote the telegram to make it look like they were very offensive and rude to each other. He knew this would cause political tension. This may not seem like a big deal, but it was to France because Bismarck made it seem like Wilhelm had called the French ambassador a bastard. Historians call this the Ems telegram because that is where it was sent from. Bismarck released this report to the press and caused major political uproar just like he wanted.
Hello, friends. This is the M telegram. Take it. It's yours to keep.
Okay, I'll read this. This is an outrage. I must start a war with Prussia.
France started the war, which caused the southern states to join forces with Prussia.
So I'm the southern states, and France is hurting the northern German Confederation. So I'm going to go stand up for them because France is being a bully.
The southern states joined the fight, and together they won the war against France. Bismarck's plan had worked perfectly. He had created and unified the German Empire.
Well, it didn't work out so well for me.
Or me.
There's always at least two sides to every story. On one hand, there's a great victory for Bismarck. He had accomplished his goal in unifying Germany under Prussia's leadership.
But let's not forget France, okay? They were devastated by the harsh terms of the Treaty of Frankfurt. France was forced to pay 5 billion francs.
Hold on. We can't put all the blame on Bismarck, though. If he did write a very rude M's telegram, Napoleon III didn't have to declare war. He could have just let it go.
Maybe so, but because of the war that Bismarck started with that telegram, Germany ended up annexing Alsace and Lorraine, which made France very angry. You have to understand, these territories were a part of France's culture. When those new border lines were drawn, families were ripped apart. Many people moved away from those territories just because they didn't want to live under German rule.
I guess that explains why France didn't want revenge. No wonder the hostility between France and Germany comes into play again in World War I. Anyways, don't forget why Bismarck made France look like a bad guy. He did it because he was unable to persuade the southern states to join the Northern German Confederation. And then it worked, didn't it? The southern states saw France as a bad guy and they ended up joining.
I guess it still doesn't change the fact that it destroyed a whole country.
In conclusion, in part 1, Bismarck turned Prussia into a great war machine so he could unify Germany and empower his home country. Go Prussia!
In part 2, Bismarck led Prussia in an alliance with Austria and went to war against Denmark in 1864. As a result, Prussia got Schleswig and Austria got Holstein. Nice job!
5. Then, Bismarck provoked war with Austria, won and unified northern Germany. He also ousted Austria from Germany's future. Mine!
Finally, in part 3, Bismarck purposely started a war, again, with France this time, and created the unified German Empire as a result.
Hey, I declare war.
He started it!
As you can see, Bismarck's path to unifying Germany was not all sunshine and rainbows. He started several wars to accomplish his goal.
But this is because he believed that war was needed to get things done, not diplomacy. And then, his pragmatic mindset got the job done.
What about you? Do you think that the ends justify the means? because Bismarck certainly did.
Do you think efficiency is more important than being ethical? Let us know after this video. Goodbye and thank you.
Adios, amigos!